Hey there, this is Caitlin with Healers Within Yoga Therapy, and thank you so much for watching. This is going to be a short little yoga sequence that is a little bit on the gentle therapeutic side. Really great for people who sit a lot. If you just want to move your body, this is great. If you work out, this will get a little bit more into the shoulders, the spine, and the hips. So for props today, I invite you to grab something that resembles a yoga strap, and for me, I used a belt today. You could definitely roll up a longer t-shirt or a sock or yoga strap. So there's a tie is another option. The other thing I might use a block. I like to have two for a lunge we're coming into, but if you don't have anything, don't worry. You can also use a book if you feel like you need something. And then I'm using a bolster underneath me. It's really not too high, but I would recommend, we'll start by sitting down. So I would recommend sitting high enough so two things do not happen, which commonly happens when we sit, especially if we're a bit tighter. We'll tend to round our back. What I want to have you do is feel like you have a really long spine, so you're sitting straight up. The bolster just helps to do that, or you could use a pillow or a blanket. But what also happens when you sit up a little bit higher is it helps to release the insides of the legs, the groin, the inner thighs. So that's just really nice, a little more comfortable. So let's take a moment once you get all your props to find a comfortable seat, to allow your knees, your thighs to kind of melt down away from the hips. You can bring your hands on your lap or onto your thighs, and then when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes. Slowly begin to just notice the breath as it is in this moment. Notice yourself inhaling and exhaling. Allow yourself to just arrive here in your space. The breath is a gateway into the present moment, so just allowing yourself again to settle into this moment without thinking about what's next or what happened earlier, just this moment, this space, this breath. Slowly allow the breath to deepen so the inhale becomes longer. The exhale is slower and more full. Notice as you breathe in on the inhalation, this sense of expansion. So feeling space in the belly, side of the ribs, maybe even up towards the collarbones. And then as you exhale, there's a sense of releasing. So the chest softens down, the ribs knit in, the belly draws back towards the spine. And there's also this sense of letting go as you exhale. So letting go of the tension in the shoulders, any tension anywhere else, the jaw. So a few more breaths again, feeling the sense of space and expansion as you breathe in. And the sense of sort of letting go, of releasing as you breathe out. And then we'll begin some arm movements. You can just follow my voice or open your eyes. We'll bring our hands out to the sides of our hips, and on your next inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, reaching tall through both sides of the body. And as you exhale, just press the hands together and slowly draw the hands together in front of the chest. We'll do that twice more. Arms reach out and up, spreading the fingers and the arms, again reaching through both sides of the body. And then as you exhale, slowly bring the hands down in front of the chest. Once more like that. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then slowly just bring the hands out in front so the arms are long and the spine stays long. And then just slowly walk the hands forward, and for some of us, just the hands on the ground will be plenty. You'll feel it maybe in the low back, but hopefully more so in the hips. And Find somewhere that you can be that you can for sure breathe, and then maybe the back of the head can relax down. Make sure the shoulders aren't up towards the ears, sort of wearing them like earrings. No, no, no. You can also slowly walk the hands further away. Maybe you come onto the forearms. Maybe the head can even reach the ground. And let's just take 3 more breaths here. Breathing into the back side of the body. So feeling the sense of softness through the low back and the hips. Feeling the softness and openness through the shoulders, in the space of the back of the neck. And then on your inhale, just slowly walk one hand forward back to the hips and then the other. Switch the foot positions, so whatever one was in front or on top, we'll just switch that up. It'll probably be the funky feeling way. And then come back to center. On your inhale, both arms sweep up. As you exhale, bend over towards the right. So your right hand comes to the floor. I'm gonna just use a block here. And then we'll be here for a couple of breaths. As you inhale, think of pressing down through the left hip and reaching and extending through the left fingertips. Feel the space on the left side of the body. Maybe it's more in the hips or the ribs, the intercostal muscles, or perhaps the shoulder. One more breath here. And then we'll add a little bit of a flow. So as you exhale, this top hand melts down as you round the spine and soften the shoulders. Take a breath in the back of the body. And then as you inhale, open up, press the bottom hand down and reach and extend the top arm. Either the head reaches up towards the ceiling or maybe looks towards your top hand. As you exhale again, belly draws in as you round and soften. Inhale, opening up, creating space in the front body. Exhale in the back body. Once more. Good. And then on your next inhale, the arm reaches up. Exhale, both hands by your side. And just pause here for a moment, see if you feel a difference at all. And then with your next inhale, right hand sweeps up. Exhale, reach over towards the left. So again, as you breathe in, think of pressing down from the outer right hip all the way through the right fingertips. Feel the breath in the side body. Good. And then as you exhale again, round the back slightly, draw the belly in for sure for support, and the top hand kind of comes down a little bit. Take a breath in the back of the body. As you inhale, press the bottom hand down and reach and extend the top arm up, opening through the front of the chest. As you exhale, belly in and round. Inhale, press down and reach up, opening through the chest. Exhale. Last one here, opening up as you breathe in and exhaling. Good. And then this time as you exhale, just walk both hands now in front of you. We'll come into the forward fold again, but just on the other side. So take a few moments where you choose to be, where again you can breathe, but you still feel a nice opening or space. Let the back of the head soften. And definitely let the shoulders soften. Good. And then slowly inhale and walk both hands back up. Coming back to a comfortable seat. And then one more, we're going to do what I call as a lateral neck release. So still sitting up nice and tall, make sure you're comfortable. On your inhale, left hand sweeps up overhead. And just take this slow because it is a little weird to start. So inhale, either gaze straight or up towards your top hand. As you exhale, your hand comes by your side as you turn the head to the right. So we're getting a little bit into the neck, shoulder girdle area. As you inhale, reach that top hand all the way up again. Gaze up or forward. And as you exhale, same thing. Hand comes by your side. This time, bring your ear to your shoulder. We'll toggle back and forth between the two. Inhale, arm reaches up. Exhale, turning to the right. Arm comes down. Chest is open. Inhale, arm up. Look up or forward. Exhale, ear to shoulder. One more time each. Inhale, arm up. Look up. Exhale, looking in the opposite direction. Inhale, arm up, look up. Exhale, this time ear to shoulder. And then you can either stay here, you could walk your left hand behind you if that feels good, getting a little bit more. Or you can reach around with your right hand, grab your left wrist, and feel like you can draw it down on your hand, reaching towards the floor. And that tends to create just a little bit more of a space of an opening in the left shoulder girdle. And then 3 breaths just like this. Good. And then when you're ready for your next exhale, release your hand if it's behind you. Draw your chin down towards the chest and bring your hands onto your thighs. Take an inhale here, breathing into the back of the neck. Take an exhale here, let that go. On your inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest, coming up. Good. Other side. So left hand comes to the floor as you inhale, right hand sweeps up. Again, gaze straight or up if that feels okay for your neck. As you exhale, the hand comes by your side as you turn to the left. Good. Inhale, arm up, look up. As you exhale, same thing, arm comes down, ear to shoulder. Good. Inhale, arm up, look up. Exhale, turning to the left. Inhale, arm up, look up. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. One more. Inhale, arm up, look up. Exhale, turn to the left. Inhale. And again, exhale, this time left ear to left shoulder. You can bring your right hand kind of back behind you. Pause there. If you want more, the left hand can reach around, grab your right wrist and draw it down. 3 breaths into the right side of the neck. With that same idea that every time you breathe in, you can create a little more space. And every time you exhale, you can let something go. Good. And your inhale, again, bring the hands back as you exhale, chin towards chest. And then just a couple neck rolls. So as you inhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, other side. Once more, each side. Exhale, center. Inhale, left. Exhale, center. Inhale, right. Good. And then inhale, center. Let's make our way to a lunge. So I'm going to make your way onto all fours. This is where... actually, before we do a lunge, let's do a cat-cow a little bit. But if you had 2 blocks or 2 books or something of the sort, you could bring that up to the front of your mat, kind of on both sides of your mat or just the space you're using right now. So come onto all fours, bring your knees so they're underneath your hips and your hands are underneath the shoulders. And let's actually bring the tops of the feet to the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. As you inhale, feel long through both sides of the body. And as you exhale, stay here. Just notice the belly moving back towards the spine. Good. On your next inhale, lift the sit bones, lift the chest forward and up. Gaze up if it feels good. As you exhale, draw the belly to the spine, round to the back, soften the back of the head and the shoulders. And a few more times like this, creating space through the spine. Inhale, hips lift, heart lifts. Exhale, belly in and round. Inhale. This time as you exhale, belly in, round the back. Bring your hips back towards your heels. And your knees might tell you when is enough. Maybe you don't come back all the way. Sometimes our low back tells us that's enough. But otherwise, hips towards heels, bring your forearms towards the floor and forehead reaches towards the floor. So this is like a flowy cat-cow. On your inhale, hips lift, heart lifts coming forward. Exhale, belly in, round the back, hips towards heels. Twice more like this. Inhale, belly drops, hips lift, heart lifts. Exhale, belly draws in, round the back. Once more. Good, and then come back to a neutral spine, neutral tabletop. Curl the toes under. Bring your hands just a little bit more forward, maybe hands distance. And then when you feel ready, press into your hands, lift the knees, lift the hips up and back, downward dog. And we'll just be here for 2 breaths. So pedal out the legs if that feels good, bending one and then the other. And then inhale to bring the knees down to the mat. Step your left leg forward, and you want to make sure that your knee is either over your ankle or just a little bit further forward, rather than having your knee jut out a lot further than your ankle. So take a moment, spread the toes of the front foot nice and wide. If it's comfortable, bring your hands to your top thigh. Take a moment, and toes can be curled under in the back or top of the foot on the floor, whatever feels most comfortable. And take a couple of breaths, thinking again, as you breathe in, feel the spine really long and the space across the chest open. And as you exhale, notice again the belly draws back towards the spine and the inner thighs hug towards each other. Either stay here, or as you inhale next, arms reach up. And we'll be here for 5 breaths. Every time you inhale, think of lifting the fingertips, lifting the chest. And as you exhale, belly in. See if you can draw the tailbone slightly down. Notice the space on the front of the back thigh. Good. On your exhale, hands come down by your side. Interlace your hands behind your back. As you inhale, press your hands together, straighten-ish your arms. Take 2 breaths into the front of the body. Good. On your inhale, release your hands, bring your hands to the floor. Step your front leg back, step your back leg forward. So right foot forward. Again, knee over ankle, or ankle is a little in front of the foot, or in front of the knee, excuse me. And then spread the toes. When you feel ready, bring the hands onto the top of the right thigh and take a moment to find your breath again. But feel again really long through both sides of the body and spacious across the front of the chest, so we're not rounded forward, but the breath feels just more fluid. And then if you feel comfortable here, again, as you inhale, the arms will reach up. And every time you inhale, fingertips lift, chest lifts. Every time you exhale, hug the belly in, hug the inner thighs. So creating space in the front of the back thigh now, the left thigh. And then as you exhale, hands come back behind you, interlace the funky feeling way. You'll know when you get there. And then press the hands together, straighten the arms, take 2 breaths into the front of the chest here. Good. Inhale, release your hands, bring your hands to the floor. Exhale, belly in, bring your right leg back. And then we're gonna come onto our backs. Make sure that you have your strap. And I'll get everything else out of the way. So come onto your back all the way down onto the floor. And then when you feel ready, draw one knee at a time into the chest. And maybe it feels good to rock side to side a little bit here. But make sure your shoulders are soft towards the floor rather than, again, rounded up. And then you choose hands on the thighs, fingers facing the toes, or hands behind the thighs, whatever feels most accessible. As you inhale, move the knees away from the chest. As you extend the arms, the hands stay on the legs. As you exhale, draw the belly in, draw the knees in towards the chest. So a really small, simple movement. Inhale, knees move away, arms extend. Exhale, belly in, knees into the chest. Inhale, knees move away, arms extend but stay on the legs. Exhale, belly in, knees in, elbows by the sides of the body. Twice more. So this really helps to just create a little more space in the low back, kind of glute area, depending on where you're tight or how you're tight. So just creating a little more circulation to the low back. Good. Slowly bring both feet to the floor, and this time we'll grab the strap. And if you're using a regular yoga strap or a belt, make sure you have one hand on the buckle. I've definitely been the one to smack myself in the face. It's not fun. So right knee draws in towards the chest. You're going to flex your right foot so the toes point back towards your knee, and then we're going to loop our strap right where the ball and the arch of the foot meet, and then inhale to extend the leg up. I definitely recommend walking your hands up your belt or your strap so the arms are pretty straight, but the shoulders again are still on the floor. So for some of us, we're going to be pretty bent depending on how tight the hamstrings, the back of the legs, glutes are. For some of us, it's going to be easier to extend the legs. So just be somewhere that you can breathe and take a moment to bring your attention back to the breath. And imagine that every time you breathe in, you could create more space in the back of the right leg. Maybe take a moment to notice where you feel tight, whether it's the hamstring, the calf, your glutes, your hips, maybe even your foot, the bottom of your foot. And then just to explore here, notice what happens when you spread the toes nice and wide, and then draw the toes back towards you, pressing the heel up towards the ceiling. And can you even try and bring the pinky toe towards you? And most likely you'll feel increased sensation into the back of the leg, and that just helps you create just a little more space. So slowly bring your strap into the right hand. On an inhale, release the leg out to the right, and I like to kind of use my upper arm to help support my leg because I can't open all the way. And you can, I would recommend keeping the left leg bent, but if you really want to straighten it, you can. What I want you to make sure of when you straighten it is that you keep your foot flexed so that the toes point towards you, just to create a little more support for the low back. One more breath into the inside of the right leg. Good. And then inhale, bring the leg back to center. And this time, just see if you can move the toes towards the left so the heel reaches towards the right. And then maybe you'll notice something on the outside of the leg, maybe not. Either you'll stay here or guide the leg over to the left, and maybe it's an inch, maybe it's 6. But I'd recommend keeping both hips on the floor for this. And then again, same thing, can you press the big toe mound away from you and spread the toes, draw the toes towards you. And most likely this will get into the IT band, the outer part of the leg. If you're really tight in the hamstring or the glutes or the foot, you may feel it there, even the calf. But just take 2 more breaths, just like this. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Release the strap and bring the strap to the left side of you, or just out to the side. And then bend your right leg, bring your right foot to the left thigh. And make sure, again, the foot is flexed and the toes are pointing back towards the knee. So this is getting into the outside of the hip, so you'll either stay here, or you could lift your left leg, interlace your hands behind the left thigh, or if you feel flexible, in front of your left shin, And then again, find somewhere that the shoulders can relax just a little bit, and slowly bring your attention back to the breath. And then release your hands, but keep your legs in this figure 4 position. And we're going to come into a twist. So take this slowly, especially if you have back stuff. You may want to bring the foot down first. But bring the arms out wide into a T position or bent at the elbows, goalpost arms. And as you exhale, we're just going to bring the legs over to the left. So the outer left leg and the right foot come to the floor. And if you want a little more, I'm going to scoot over a little bit. If you want more of a hip stretch, you'll bring the knees, kind of slide them up towards your left shoulder. And consequently, if you want less of a hip stretch, you'll slide them away. Okay? So let's be here for a few breaths. If it feels okay for your body, you can look over towards the right and just feel the breath inside the body. Feel the breath moving throughout the torso, and notice how this twist kind of manipulates the breath. Good. And then on your inhale, we're just going to lift back up to center. As you exhale, release your right foot and bring it to the floor. Bring your feet out a little bit wider, kind of like towards the edge of where a mat is, whether you're using one or not. And let the knees draw in. Bring one hand to the belly and one hand over your chest, and just take a couple of breaths at center. See if you can notice a difference from one side to the other, one leg to the other. Be thankful that we get to do one more side. So grab your strap again, bring your right foot in just a little bit, and as you exhale, draw your left knee into the chest. Grab your strap, loop the strap around the ball, or just where the ball and the arch of the foot meet. As you inhale, extend the left leg up towards the ceiling. And again, walk your hands up the strap so the arms are remotely straight, but the shoulders can be relaxed down to the floor. And take a few breaths into the back of the left leg. Again, if you want to on this side, you could extend the opposite leg. Just flex the foot, which helps to engage it just a little bit and provides a little more support for the low back. Otherwise, just keep the leg bent. And then again, when you're here, where do you feel the sensation most? And then what happens when you spread the toes, press the heel and the big toe mound towards the ceiling and the toes towards you, even the pinky toe? You may not like me after that one. And then bring the strap into the left hand and slowly guide the leg out to the left when you feel ready. See a little sunlight now. And take a couple of breaths into the inside of the left leg. Inhale when you're ready. Slowly release the leg back to center. And again, same thing as we did on the other side. Could you draw just the toes more to the right so the heel is kind of at midline or facing the left? And then either stay here or simply glide the leg over to the right, 1 inch to 6 inches. And then where can you be that you can breathe and notice the sensation on the outer left leg? Good. Inhale, come back to center. Release the strap, bring it out to the side, and then keep your left leg lifted and bend the left leg. Bring the foot onto the right thigh, and again, flex the foot so the toes point back towards the left knee. And either stay here, or if you want more, you'll lift the right leg, interlace your hands behind the right thigh or in front of the right shin. Make sure the shoulders are flush towards the floor. And take a few deep breaths into the left hip. Good. And then again, we'll come into the twist on this side. So arms come out to the side or bent at the elbow. And as you exhale, release the legs over to the right. So the outer right thigh and the left foot come to the floor. If you want less stretch, slide the legs down. If you want more, slide the legs up. Gaze is either towards the ceiling or over to the left. And a few breaths here. As you inhale, lifting back up to center, release the left foot, and just take a couple moments before you jump back to your day to just breathe and notice the effects. So if you'd like, keep the knees bent, feet out a little bit wider towards the edge of the mat, let the knees draw in. Make sure that feels okay for your low back, and then just take a few deep breaths, letting go of your efforts as you exhale. Creating more space and ease with your inhale. Each time you exhale, think of the body just becoming a little bit heavier. And then when you feel ready, you can either rest here or begin to bend the knees into the chest. Come over to one side, gently press yourself up. Thank you for joining. Namaste.